be somebody to identify with this system, you need me. That's why we got to be real careful. That's why it's necessary to actually have a mark. That's why we're going to talk about the mark of the beast and all that kind of stuff. All these things are connected. It's all about having something physical to identify you.
Yes.
Yes.
I was going to say, now it can be a thing, but it can be a relationship, or it can be an idea, a value, that you have.
That's why
I know I have lots of values I need to get rid of.
Yeah, that's why I've defined it broadly to say things that matter that aren't supposed to matter. God, but basically things that we find valuable that God doesn't value. Because the question God asked me this week is, how much time did you spend this week actually trying to win your soul, as opposed to trying to win the world?
Come on now.
See, Jesus asked the question, and we say it all the time, and we say it in the context of people getting money and everything else. Say, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose your soul? Well, we say that. We say that. We say that often. Unsaved people say it. People who don't care about God say it. Well, we don't really think about what that means, because we have to ask ourselves that question minutely. Am I profiting myself by taking care of my soul? Jesus. How much do I actually care about my soul? As opposed to praying to God about gaining the world stuff. Ask myself this question. Am I on a pursuit to keep my soul or to gain the world? And do I live life? Which direction do I live my life? That's what's so confusing about the doctrine that's being preached in most churches. Yeah. Prosperity is because they're trying to get you to gain the world. Capitalism. Yes, sir.
In church. So what if, Monday through Friday you work, of course you work to have things. Is it a difference in, what you're saying basically is different if you work to have those things and you treasure them, you don't want to let them go, and by any means necessary you do whatever it takes to keep it, as opposed to not really treasuring it, but you're working to get those things, but it's not really, like that serious.
Why do you work in the first place?
I work to provide, to have, the things that I need to, live a comfortable life.
Sure, because
but those things to me aren't really, like if I went outside and my tires were flat, I would just, sit and I'd figure out another way to get home. It wouldn't be that, I wouldn't be like, why?
Well, some of us do, right? Yeah. But what if your house wasn't there? And what if you didn't have any food to eat? That's my point is, what I'm saying is the things that we need, food, clothing, and a place to stay, right? And warmth and those kinds of things. God says He gives us those things because He knows we need them to live, right? What I'm saying is, even those things can become idolaters, right? If we treasure them, not just to treasure them over God, because the way God disciplines us is by causing us, one of the key ways is fasting, which is basically saying, this doesn't matter to me as much as you do, Lord. I'm putting this away to spend time that I would spend eating in prayer. Because your food, your presence is more valuable to me. So ultimately, where we fall prey as people is we're materialists. Even those of us who don't think they're materialists are materialists because they will curse God because of something they miss. Yes, sir.
Thought of an example. I had a home worth over $300,000. The Lord told me to leave it alone, move out. I'd sell it, leave it. He said, I got zero profit. And I did. Can most of us say that? Walk away from over $300,000?
It's tough.
It's real tough.
I don't know if I could walk away from it, but I would risk it.
Well, it was a risk.
Yeah.
There's no risk involved. God said do it. So there's no risk. He said do it. So there's no risk. I didn't understand it at the time, so he said do it. So I called up people that buy homes and just, he looked at me like I'm stupid. Don't you want some money? I said no. So that's just an example.
Yeah, that's good. Yes, ma'am.
I think ultimately we all think that we deserve certain things.
Mm-hmm.
We have that set out, and that's why what you're saying about the idea is so valid, because I know for me, and Terry's been nagging on me lately about this job, but for me up until maybe last week or so, my thing was, well, not even up to that recently, but why is this happening to me? Why am I here? Why do I have to go through all this? Why, this and that? And every time you ask why, you're basically saying, well, God, you put me here, so why? Obviously, I could have been here doing this, and it would have been much better use of my time. And even if you never address God specifically, if you recognize that God's in control of your life, then who are you asking why to? You're asking why to Him, which you're basically saying you did something wrong.
So, but even if we never, ever get to a place where we say, why God, vocally or whatever, if we feel disappointment, discontent, anger, judgment, it's all towards Him.